Good evening, good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing well. I'm on my way back from work. I had an event on this glorious day, which has been a treat. It's always great being outdoors when it's nice, but equally, I don't mind when it's a bit colder, but having a bit of sun does a lot of wonders, as well as not having the sun. But yeah, I wanted to talk about dry fasting and just how much it's kind of it's played such a big part in just in my life since I've been doing it. And it's so funny because I've only really dived deep into dry fasting ever since, like, I think I had a problem with like my vagus nerve. I was like experiencing some like real bad pain a few months ago, and I was just like, I had like a toothache, and then like it moved to another side, and then I couldn't lie down to sleep. I had to sit up because every time I kept lying down, I felt this big pressure in my head. It was just like my head was gonna explode, which is so weird because I'm someone that does not experience any sort of pain. So yeah, it was very interesting, and I still to this day don't know what it was, but maybe it could have been some sort of an emotional release of some sort, although I didn't really feel emotional, which is interesting. But I guess, you know, when these things happen, we've just gotta, you know, observe, and it's good to do a bit of research and a little bit of digging to find out what the reason may be. So yeah, I literally dived into dry fasting through that period because like, it was hurting to swallow. Like every time I kept swallowing as well, it was almost like my esophagus was like closing up, like, so it was easy for me just to dry fast at that period. So what happened was I did a dry fast. I literally jumped straight into it. I did like a 2-day, did I do a 2-day dry fast first? I did a 36 hour, and then I did a 48 hours, and then I did another 36 hours. And yeah, it was interesting. And then I read a book. I brought a book during this time. I actually took time off work as well, which I've never really taken time off work for any sort of health related issue. I had to go off work because what happened while I was working, and I was having this like bad toothache, which led to like a headache, and I don't take pharmaceutical drugs, so I was chewing on garlic. And then I was working with my colleague, and she's like, "Oh, it stinks of garlic." And then I found cloves. Cloves was like very numbing. But literally, I went through that whole experience, which lasted, all in all, I think it lasted about, I think it was easy about like a whole month. Obviously, it eased off towards the end, but yeah, that lasted a month. And yeah, I'm proud that I didn't take any sort of pharmaceutical drugs because it was so, I was very close. I'm not gonna lie, I was extremely close to taking something just to take the edge off the pain. It was so bad, so bad. And I was like, I don't know how. Well, obviously your body kind of adapts to pain as you're experiencing it. So then you have a new reference of normal. So you know, you might have a headache, and your body gets used to it, and then now you have a new reference of normal because now that headache, your body's kind of got on top of that headache slightly, and then the headache gets worse, and then your pain gets worse, and then your body does another adaptation to get on top of that, and then before you know, you don't even remember what your normal was like, which is quite sad actually, that we end up getting to these sorts of levels when you know, they can be prevented, I guess, depending on what you're kind of going through. But yeah, anyway, went off on a tangent, but it's still related to dry fasting because this is how I started my dry fasting. So yeah, I've been saying as well, like, you know, you do 1 day of dry fasting. 1 day of dry fasting is the equivalent to a 3-day water fast. Now, I wouldn't advise anybody and everybody to just jump into doing the dry fasting without doing some sort of detoxification. It depends on, you know, your health status currently. Like, you know, are you going through something like a real bad illness? Sorry, I just want to say I'm driving, and intuitively I'm driving and I'm going the right way though, and I'm not even really paying much attention. I'm paying attention to the road, but I'm not paying attention to like which direction I need to be going. My body's just like, this is the way we're going, but I'm still here. But yeah, so like 1 day dry fast is equivalent to a 3-day water fast. And yeah, I wouldn't advise everybody and anybody to do one without, you know, going through the levels of detoxing. So I posted, the last post that I posted was like a pyramid, and it kind of tells you the levels of detoxification. You know, you climb up the ladder if you want to get deeper and deeper and deeper. I would say that dry fasting was something that I'd never really thought about doing, because at that point, when I was, especially when I was doing juice fasting, I was saying that, you know, I do enjoy food, and, you know, I never just like go through the whole day without eating. But it's so crazy how your body knows, your blueprint knows, you know, your cells know, you know, we all have this blueprint of, you know, information that our bodies just know. Like every cell in our body knows like what we are meant to be doing, and that's why it's so easy for me to do these things, because, you know, that's the blueprint. Like, it's easy. You just have to rediscover, you just have to get a little bit deeper into your journey to really truly intuitively understand, understand wherever stand, that what you're doing is right. And I've said it before, you know, I'm on a road, I'm on a straight and narrow road. Well, not straight and narrow road, ups, downs, whatever, but it feels extremely right. You know, it doesn't feel wrong, it feels extremely right. It feels like I'm just going in the right direction. And yeah, like dry fasting is just like such a game changer. I feel so focused, like so focused. You know, I've been working out dry fasting. I haven't currently been working out, but I've been dry fasted, working out. I do everything dry fasted. Like if I've got a meeting or do some sort of presentation, I'm dry. I'm pretty much dry throughout the whole day anyway. I'm dry now. 23 hours in, not eaten, not drank anything, no nothing, and I feel super clear. And through dry fasting, there's so many benefits that you can tap into. Now, you know, let's say for example Tom does a dry fast for 23 hours and I do a dry fast for 23 hours. You know, the benefits that we'll experience are going to be completely different. And I think when we Google or do any sort of research that suggests the benefits that you're going to get from doing particular hours, I feel like it's a little bit skewed, because, you know, it's not taking into consideration, you know, let's say somebody's weight or what they're currently experiencing, or all these things. You know, it's not taking into consideration, like, do they have 20 pounds of, you know, waste, you know, locked up into their colon, which is not going to allow them to use the energy that their body has to do other stuff, do like the clean out, the repairs and stuff. Well, the energy that they might have is going to go to, you know, elimination of, you know, through the other channels. It's something you just gotta experiment with, because my experience is going to be completely different to somebody else's experience, but I absolutely love it. And also, not only that, I find it so much easier than doing a water fast. I find it so much easier than doing a juice cleanse or a juice fast. Like, I don't know what it is, like when I'm not having water or food, it's so much easier just to have nothing as opposed to having something. You know, I always go by this thing of, you know, less is more. Sometimes doing less, you know, you get more out of it. And yeah, it's just something really sacred about that empty space. You know, within that empty space, like there's a lot of form. You know, you have a ball, for example. You know, there's just that hollow space. There's that air inside of it, but it forms the ball. Like there's just something about it. And you know, the deeper I dive, the higher I climb. Yeah, like I definitely would recommend, you know, when you get to a point of being able to tap into dry fasting, you know, implementing whether it's 12 hours and then you move up to like your 24s, your 36, your 48s, and sometimes you probably won't even need to do, when you hear people doing like, let's say 10, 11 days or whatever, that's because they have some sort of a disease that needs to be fixed, or they need to do some like deep cleansing, you know. So it's not for everybody. Not everybody needs to do that. Well, one day for me might be equivalent to 6-7 days for somebody else that's going through something. So it's very important not to kind of get stuck up on somebody else's, they've done it for this amount of days. Even with my juice cleanse, like, yeah, I did over 200 days, but at the same time, it's like there's somebody that might not need to do 200 days, for example. And I would say that I was relatively healthy, but not as healthy as like other people that might have been when they jump into doing some sort of a juice cleanse. So you just gotta take it, you gotta just use your own initiative and your own intuition to have these experiences. But if you look online, you'll find a bunch of people that will be claiming that, you know, how it's helped them, how like detoxification has helped them, whether it's water fasting, juice cleansing, juice fasting, dry fasting, you know, eating raw. Like these are just stepping stones to dry. Like honestly, these are all stepping stones. I would say that some are better than others, dry being the ultimate, but you have to start somewhere, and it's about honoring your starting point and not being stuck up on other people's achievements or what they, you know, where they're at. Sometimes it's, you know, it could be you might want healthy competition just to help you get to that next point or whatever, but you've got to get away from you just have to get away from the comparison with other people, because, you know, everyone's got their own things to deal with. But yeah, that's that. I probably never really touched on the whole dry fasting benefits that I've experienced, but I'll leave that for another video. But I just wanted to talk about dry fasting briefly and just how amazing it is. And, you know, this is something from experience. It's something that I do. You know, I'm not just telling you something from a textbook. Like, everything I do is because I do, and I'm giving you my actual living experience of what I'm doing. So yeah, dry fasting is wonders. There's some bits of information of dry fasting that I don't even want to share, because I feel like people may use dry fasting as a way to kind of get away with doing other things that are not so healthy. But maybe I'll save that for a much later date. But honestly, it's a game changer. But I hope you're all having a great weekend, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying. Very easy for me just to not post. Very easy for me not to post, because I don't need to post. I'm definitely at a point where I just don't need to post, but I feel like it's important that I share information, and I know that someone's gonna see the information and they may get something extremely beneficial from the information. Do take advantage of the links that I have in my bio. You know, everything has its time, everything serves its purpose. I don't just share for no reason. There's definitely a reason in everything, and the links that I have in the bio are very important, I believe. So yeah, if you're someone that's starting out on your journey, you don't know where to start, there's information there. I have programs. I have it all. Just gotta ask. If you ask, you shall find. If you seek, you shall find. And on that note, peace out.